Okay, ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand and join with me as we pledge to our country's flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will you pray with me? Our Father in heaven, we come to you tonight just thanking you for all the blessings that we have received and how you care for us. And we thank you for this opportunity to come to you and ask your guidance over this community and this group that are leaders that are making decisions and guiding and directing us to make a great place for us to live. We just ask that you bless them tonight as they discuss the business at hand. Thank you, Father, for this opportunity that we have to live in a great country, a great state, and a great community. We praise you for that. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Our Guthrie Public Works Authority meeting is in session. Call it to order. We have under the public announcements, Miss Evelyn Nephews, who wants to make comments about the Dr. Martin Luther King celebration. She's coming.
Good evening. Good afternoon, good evening, whichever one it is. It's all right, and I feel pretty good tonight. And I'm wearing these shoes because these are the shoes that I wore on the march yesterday. And these are the shoes that walked down Oklahoma in celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King. I want you to know about a mayor. He's quite a guy. We were walking just like one of our songs or one of the speeches says, we were walking hand in hand, and we were walking hand in hand down the road with Dr. Martin Luther King. So I want to thank you for allowing us to do that. And the other reason that I was here is because, you know, in many countries and towns, everybody claims their own. And like the Thunders, they claim their own KD. Well, in the city of Guthrie, you know, we have our own Martin Luther King. And the name of Officer J.W. Williams. It's my understanding, Mayor, that he's on his way. He just hasn't made it yet. But I wanted him tonight to recite that famous speech, I Have a Dream. Many of us probably have never heard it in its entirety. Many of us have, and we just didn't know what that speech meant and how it impacted the world. And it impacted it then, and it's still impacting now. I am a product of the dream, and I am now living the dream. So I hope you would give me time when he comes in to recite that speech. Thank you so much.
Okay. And he is on his way.
He's on his way.
Okay. All right. Well, we will divert from the agenda when he comes and go back to community announcements at that point. Item number 3 on our agenda is the consent agenda. We only have one item on the consent agenda, which is the approval of the minutes of last January 5th Public Works Authority meeting. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
And a second. Is there any discussion? Submit your votes, please.
I'll vote for it.
See the votes. Unanimous approval of those minutes of January 5th. That is the only item that we had on the agenda for the Public Works Authority. So we are adjourned from that, and we will move right into our regular city council meeting.
Mr. Mayor, just a point of order. You said you'd come back to that other one, so I don't know if you really want to adjourn that meeting because that item is on that agenda. You need to keep it open,
Well,
technically.
Can we just do it in comments?
We can recess or do it in, or
Maybe we-
just recess.
maybe we'll just, you want to just recess now?
We'll recess Public Works and then we can come back.
Come
in
back?
with that agenda
Okay,
item.
all right. So we're not adjourned. We're just recessing the Public Works Authority meeting. And, but we are going to call to order our city council meeting. We have items on the consent agenda, items A and B. A is the minutes of January 5th, and B is to declare property that's outlived its useful life, and to allow the city to allow with disposal of that, those items. I will entertain that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion of those two items? Make your vote, please.
There he is. He's here.
All votes for him.
Evelyn, he's here.
Let's read the votes. Unanimous approval of those items. JW, are you ready? Okay. I will recess our city council meeting and call back to order our Public Works Authority meeting. Under the community announcements, we have a presentation by one of our own, J.W. Williams. Officer, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit of of what you are going to present to us and to this city tonight?
He's getting prepared, and while he's getting prepared, I'm going to introduce him again. This is Officer J.W. Williams, and he's going to recite that famous "I Have a Dream" speech by Dr. Martin Luther King. Let's give it up for Dr. Williams.
All righty. I think I know everybody here. How you doing, man? Yeah. All right, I'm gonna just get right into it. This is a speech that Martin Luther King Jr. gave 1963 at the Lincoln Memorial. And I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. 50 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on the lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is still languished in the corners of American society and finds himself in exile in his own land. So we've come here today to dramatize a shameful condition. In a sense, we've come to our nation's capital to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which every American was to fall out. This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is obvious today that America has defaulted on this promissory note insofar as her citizens of color are concerned. Instead of honoring this sacred obligation, America has given the Negro people a bad check, a check which has come back marked insufficient funds. But we refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt. We refuse to believe that there are insufficient funds in the great vaults of opportunity of this nation. So we've come to cash this check, a check that will give us upon demand the riches of freedom and the security of justice. We have also come to this hallowed spot to remind America of the fierce urgency of now. This is no time to engage in the luxury of cooling off or to take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice. Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of racial injustice to the solid rock of brotherhood. Now is the time to make justice a reality for all of God's children. It would be fatal for the nation to overlook the urgency of the moment. This sweltering summer of the Negro's legitimate discontent will not pass until there is an invigorating autumn of freedom and equality. 1963 is not an end, but a beginning. And those who hope that the Negro needed to blow off steam and will now be content will have a rude awakening if the nation returns to business as usual. There will be neither rest nor tranquility in America until the Negro is granted his citizenship rights. The whirlwinds of revolt will continue to shake the foundations of our nation until the bright day of justice emerges. But that is something that I must say to my people who stand on the warm threshold which leads into the palace of justice. In the process of gaining our rightful place, we must not be guilty of wrongful deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. We must not allow our creative protests to degenerate into physical violence. Again and again, we must rise to the majestic heights of meeting physical force with soul force. The marvelous new militancy which has engulfed the Negro community must not lead us to a distrust of all white people. For many of our white brothers, as evidenced by their presence here today, have come to realize that their destiny is tied up with our destiny. For they have come to realize that their freedom is inextricably bound to our freedom. We cannot walk alone. And as we walk, we must make the pledge that we shall always march ahead. We cannot turn back. There are those who are asking the devotees of civil rights, when will you be satisfied? We can never be satisfied as long as the Negro is the victim of the unspeakable horrors of police brutality. We can never be satisfied as long as our bodies are heavy with the fatigue of travel, cannot gain lodgings in the motels and the hotels of the city. We cannot be satisfied as long as a Negro's basic mobility is from a smaller ghetto to a larger one. We can never be satisfied as long as our children are stripped of their selfhood and robbed of their dignity by signs stating for whites only. We cannot be satisfied as long as the Negro in Mississippi cannot vote and the Negro in New York believes he has nothing for which to vote. No, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. I am not unmindful that some of you have come here out of great trials and tribulations. Some of you have come fresh from narrow jail cells. And some of you have come from areas where your quest for freedom have left you battered by the storms of persecution and staggered by the winds of police brutality. You have been the veterans of creative suffering. Continue to work with the faith that unearned suffering is redemptive. Go back to Mississippi. Go back to Alabama. Go back to South Carolina. Go back to Georgia. Go back to Louisiana. Go back to the slums and ghettos of our northern cities, knowing that somehow this situation can and will be changed. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friends, and so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners, will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day Even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my father's children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama with its vicious racists, with this governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification. One day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted. Every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning. My country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And for America's to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghanies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring. And when this happens, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, thank God Almighty, we're free at last.
You did a nice job.
JW, thank you so much. I don't know if you had the opportunity to see the monitor that was up there, but on the monitor, with your words and your face, it said Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. That's what it said. Thank you for sharing those words. Thank you for sharing your passion for those words and what those words mean for all of us, and sharing that with our public as well as those in this room today. JW, thank you so much. I will now close the Public Works Authority meeting and reopen the City Council meeting that had been recessed. We are on item number 3, public hearing and discussion about a special use permit for operations of a storage unit business. Is there anybody representing public comment on that at all? Okay. Do we have any comments from staff?
You got any? I don't have any.
Right, that was in our minutes. Okay, I will accept a motion and a second to approve the special use permit.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? This, again, it was a unanimous approval by planning. Okay, submit your vote, please.
All votes are in.
Let's see the votes. Unanimous approval of the special use permit then for the operations of the storage unit business. Item number 4, discussion and possible action concerning the readoption of ordinance number 3277, which has to do with the existing sales tax ordinance. Any staff comments on that?
Our financial advisor just asked us to reapprove this ordinance again, so that's why we're having it passed before you guys, just crossing the Ts and dotting the Is.
Okay. All right.
So moved.
Second.
You guys are way ahead of me. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the readoption of ordinance number 3277. Submit your vote, please.
All votes are in.
See the votes? Unanimous to approve that readoption of that ordinance. Item number 5, city manager report.
Only reports I have is just to remind everybody that we have a vote for the 3/4 cent sales tax on February the 9th. Go out and vote. If you have any questions, feel free to contact my office.
Item number 6, comments by members of the city council. And,
Me?
yes, why don't we start with Councilwoman Paget, please?
Tonight, I'm silent. I don't have anything to say.
No.
Thank you.
Councilman Taylor?
Pork chop feed is coming up this weekend. I think it's Friday night at 6:30, I think, 6:37, somewhere around. Well, if you get there at 6:30, it starts at 5, okay, 5 o'clock. And if you haven't been there in a while, which I haven't, you need to go because it's a great way to help the FFA and 4-H kids out, so they need all the help they can get. And thanks to staff for what you all do, and I appreciate everything.
Homegrown pork?
Councilman Edwin?
Have nothing this week, thank you.
John Wood? Councilman John Wood?
I just want to thank J.W. Williams for his passion tonight with the MLK speech. So.
Okay. Councilman Bothroyd?
Yeah, I ditto that, and that's it for me.
Councilman Thomas?
I don't have anything to add. I was supposed to mention the pork chops, but.
He beat you to it.
So now I'm hungry.
I'd like to thank the police department, their involvement with the Martin Luther King parade. Good job there. Fire and ambulance in the parade. Police making sure that everybody was safe and the roads were clear. So greatly appreciate that. With that, we will move on to item number 7, request for approval to convene an executive session. We have items A through E on executive sessions, A and B and C concerning city employee, and D and E concerning rural water district number 1, and E is a pending investigation claim on a initiation petition. I will.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion of those items? Vote, please.
All votes are in.
See it? It's unanimous that we convene into our executive session for those items, please.